I don't know if I was muted that whole time, but I was doing a wonderful intro, and I haven't done a YouTube AMA for a few days, so I kind of forgot how this works. No, I was down in New Orleans for the Florida State LSU game. So again, that's where I've been. It was a wonderful game, awesome game, one of the best games I've been to. Florida State won on a last-second blocked extra point. So unfortunately, I was cheering for Florida State. I kept doing the and sat in the LSU section. So that was kind of fun. So welcome, everyone. We are going to be talking about Playa3ull Games today. I've not seen Jonathan. Hopefully we didn't get the times mixed up or anything like that. But he is supposed to be hopping on here for an AMA to talk about Playa3ull Games. I don't know if you guys remember that. I had him on for an AMA when they were first launching. So excited to have them back and kind of see what's been going on, what they have on the horizon. Welcome. It's good to see you guys. I haven't done an AMA in like 3 days, but it feels like an eternity. Like I feel like I don't even remember who you all are and things like that. So if you're here, please go ahead and hit the like button. Hello, Abagi. Hello, Bernie. Thank you guys for joining. Let me go ahead. There he is. I'll go ahead and pull up the website while we're kind of getting going here. Abagi, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. He wants to know if you can ask about a project for just a second. Yeah, go ahead as we're kind of getting going here. Feel free to ask. Happy to share. Which project are you wanting to talk about? And then here, Playa3ull Games. Let me share a link to this. This is what we're going to be talking about here today. And then I do see Jonathan. Let me bring him on here. Very cool website. I like the hi, Jonathan. How are you?
Hey, buddy. Really good. Really good.
Good to see you. I'm happy that you can make it. Your website, I haven't been to the website in a while. It looks really nice.
Yeah, we got told they didn't like the financial sort of accounting styles. They said upgrade it, make it more gamey. So we said to the graphic artist, go make it gamey. So they made it gamey. We like it too.
Very cool. Yeah, no, I think that's really smart. This is definitely more appeals to the game world, which is who you're after, I think. So that's awesome. And Abagi, so you want to talk about Sphere? So yeah, I'll talk about that maybe at the end here. We'll talk about Playa3ull first, and I'll answer some questions. I know I've been away for a little while, so yeah, I'll answer some questions after that. Don't forget the question of the day. Thank you, Bernie. See, I forgot how this works. We need to get some comments flowing. So since we're talking about gaming today, let's ask, what is your favorite? Let's do favorite video game of all time. Let's go ahead and go with that. That's always fun to see. Mine is probably one of the early Donkey Kongs. You have the nostalgia of being a kid, and so I think those stick with you longer. I had my kids try to play like some of the Super Nintendo Donkey Kongs, and they were like, the graphics are so bad, and it's only 2-dimensional and things like that. So I've ruined them with the modern gaming. But yes, that's mine. We got Super Smash Brothers, Street Fighter 2. Again, I feel so connected to you guys because we all do the same things. So, Jonathan, thank you for joining us here today. Do you want to give yourself just a quick introduction, and then we'll start talking about what is Playa3ull, and then we'll talk about what's been going on since the last time that we talked?
Sure. Brief introduction. I'm Jonathan Bosenk, CSO, founder, one of 4 founders of Playa3ull Games. Our family founded the business back in February this year. It's very early Feb, the very end of the bull market. We had about a month of the bull market, and then it sort of tailed off and collapsed. My background is basically a salesperson. I started off door-to-door selling 35 years ago, and ended up selling nice, big, expensive vacuum cleaners. That's me in a suit, or at least a shirt and tie.
You look more gamer now than you do in the picture.
I'm trying. I am trying. And I ended up being a sales trainer. I really enjoyed selling, and Zig Ziglar was one of my favorite coaches. And when I became a sales trainer, I actually didn't like it. So I ended up doing that for a couple of years, ran a sales training company in Melbourne, Australia, and basically just ended up sort of feeling that it was the hardest and worst thing I ever tried to do in my life. And I ended up going back to school, doing a marketing degree, and then did a master's in marketing, and then started heading up projects and stuff with the marketing side. and got into crypto in 2017 after meeting a very strange young man who was very autistic, I'd say. And he basically just kept saying, got to buy Bitcoin, got to buy Bitcoin. And it really, he was so passionate about it. I was buying a laptop off him for quite a small amount of money, a few $100s, and he was going to take that money down and buy Bitcoin with it. And at this time, Bitcoin was around about, I don't know, $1,700 or close to $2,000. And it really sparked my interest at how passionate he was and how he just kept saying, you've got to do it now. It's going to go ballistic and it's going to be the future. And he actually really convinced me at the time to look into crypto for the first time. So, and then we got into NFTs and we joined NFTs at the end of like the beginning of the NFT run in 21. And we launched our own NFT collection into the end of it into a dead market. And that sort of led us to ask the question, well, we were going to do the NFTs and then start a gaming company with the profits. And so the boys and I sat around and said, well, could we start the gaming company now, copying GALA's model, and hopefully raise the money out of nodes to actually go and buy some gaming companies and build out what we're doing. So it was a huge risk, and we rallied some very heavy hitters around us, like professional business people and stuff, to make sure that if we got the money, we knew what to do with it and how to run it. And the rest is history, I suppose. We got very lucky. We got enough of the end of that last month of the bull market was enough. We went, I don't know if you remember how crazy that was. I think you remember that you actually rang me from when you were away or sent me an email from when you were away saying, oh, look, I've got to do this interview now because I was going to wait until I got back, but you guys are selling too many and I better do it now, so we sold, I think we sold 3,000 in 3 days or something. It was like nodes. It went from $200 a node to 3,500 a node in about 3 or 4 days. And my wife was crying in the kitchen. Like, she was just like, what is going on? Like, it just didn't make any sense. And it really was crazy. So between yourself and Evan from Intent Investor, it was crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I was at Disney World, and we talked about doing a video to get some of the nodes sold, and the price goes up every so many that are sold. And I saw how fast they were selling, and I was like, oh no, if I wait till I get back from my trip, they'll probably be 4 times the price they are now. So I got on quick, did a video from Disney World. So
it started off really strong, and then the bull market ended, and we've gone into a holding pattern now, and we've got plenty of money saved to last out the bear market, and we've sort of planned for another 18 months. Well, we've planned from 18 months from February. So, but personally, I think November this year will be pretty much the end, the bottom. And hopefully, if I'm right, when I say if I'm right, I mean, that's not me. I just watch about an hour a day of people I trust and respect. And the consensus seems to be that November's bottom, and we're on just a very gentle up from there for the next 12 months. And then come into that last 6 months before the 24 halving, then it'll go ballistic. So, which is perfect for us because we'll have all our games ready. And the 3 we've got going right now will all be ready coming into the end of next year. So, okay. Yeah, very exciting times.
Yeah, it is very cool. And then just for people who, haven't watched that other AMA before, and I'll put a link to that AMA for people to watch too, but do you want to just give a quick, you mentioned you're kind of doing what GALA Games is doing, but do you want to kind of give like an elevator pitch of, hey, here's what we're setting out to do, here's what we're trying to be?
Yeah, well, someone the other day said, you had such a great idea. I said, I'm really sorry, it's not me. I just copied. It was literally, I raised $1 million from GALA for an Australian company to build a game. So I was in crypto. I knew about GALA. My boys had come to me and said, I had a 18 and 19-year-old boy at the time, and or 19, 20, and they said, we want to invest some money in crypto. What should we buy? And so I went away and had a good think about it. And the GALA node we'd been watching that and looking at it. So I did some research on it. And so they bought a GALA node. They bought it for $6,900, and which was a lot of money for them. Like, it was almost everything they had between them. And now they just strut around the house like it's just investing so easy. Like, that node's worth $96,000, and they've got, I think they've made 50 something thousand out of it. And plus they've got like lots of coins saved, ready for when the price comes back up. So, but they've actually taken 50,000 out, and they've still got the node, and it still produces coins every day for them. So they're pretty happy. So that led to me thinking, well, I could raise money from GALA for this guy I knew who had a gaming company that didn't have any funding. And that sort of went really well. So GALA came to the party and they interviewed us and talked to us, and they're gaming people. I met Jason Brink and talked to the guys, and it sort of started off well, and it went along, and I ended up doing some work with that company from a marketing perspective. And then that company had a falling out with GALA. Just GALA didn't think the first person shooter they were building was going to be correct for the market, or we're not quite sure what happened there. I didn't get the full story, but it fell apart, and I was left in my lounge room thinking, what will I do? And so I went back to GALA. I had another gaming company that I knew in Australia that was looking for funding, and I went back to GALA to ask the question, hey, can we fund this company because they're different and whatever. And I couldn't even get an interview with anyone. They were so busy. They'd obviously gone ballistic. They'd made a couple of $1 billion, and they were literally rocking. So I didn't even get a hello. So that left me to, well, how could I raise this money myself for this guy? And that came down to a very interesting conversation with the boys and my wife. And do you risk everything? Do you take everything you've got, put it all on the table? We had the marketing background. We had the business side from a very long-term friend of mine. I rang and said, look, I know you're really busy, but would you be able to lend me your business brain to make sure we don't muck this up? And he very kindly said, yeah, okay, I'll. And he went to his boss and asked for some time from his boss to help me, and his boss said yes. And his boss and I are actually good friends now, so that's worked out well. But it's that was the beginning of it. So we started it, and between you and Intense Investor, it launched it, and that was the best launch we could ever have. And it went pretty much crazy there for about 3 weeks. Then the bear market settled, and everything just went from crazy to just gently going down, 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 down. And so we realized very quickly that we had to be very careful with how we spent the money, because we had to last. And so our business people drew out, we had financial controllers and a business guy go right through everything and say, right, well, how much have we got? How can we make it last to make sure we get to the next bull run? Because we know if we've got the games ready and everything ready, the next bull run's going to be ballistic. So.
Okay, very cool. And then, so how would you say that you compare to GALA games? Like, what are kind of the similarities? How would you say you kind of compare?
Well, we copied the model. We changed some of the tokenomics. In the positives, the model of GALA is very simple. Raise money through crypto and then go and give that money to real game developers to produce real games. So I don't know if you understand game development much, but it's in a nutshell, it's extraordinarily expensive. Like one of our teams, we've got 3 teams, but just one of them costs $80,000 a month to run. So, and that's just 12 people. So it's 80,000 US a month going out every month to make that game. So it's Revan, our main game. And then it's very expensive, and devs almost always are a group of friends getting together to try and do something. And there's 850 games a week being released onto Steam. It's just the most cutthroat, devastatingly hard business, and they're all doing it with no money, and they're all trying to make the next big game. So, and there's some wonderful ideas out there. So GALA's model is to find the good ideas and give them the funding they need to hire the right people and build great games. So I love that basis. I mean, I often get asked, do you hate GALA? And I'm like, hate GALA? It's the exact opposite. I love GALA. We've got a GALA node. I know Jason, not well, but I've talked to him several times. And they're a great group. From what I know, they're a great group. They're doing great things. And Jason comes from a charity background. Like, he's done this to actually help the third world. He wants gaming to go into the third world, which is definitely playable. We're following that as well. We know that, play to earn gaming is going to start in Philippines and Indonesia and the third world countries that are struggling to make a living. Crypto gaming will first go off there because they can make a living. And GALA's already experienced that with Townstar. They've had people actually making more than their parents, both working. So that's going to be the future. So that's what I love. And then what we changed was we felt that the halving of the tokens every year in GALA was very hard on two things. One, it put a lot of pressure on the coin price, because if you don't double the coin price every year, it means your node owners make half as much next year. And you only have to halve a few times before that becomes really bad for the node owners. So we decided to actually keep the node owners steady for the whole 10 years. So the node owners we release 5 billion coins a year, every year for 10 years. And then at the end of the 10 years, we're going to switch to either a fee per transaction or a gas fee. We'll work out which is the most liked by our community. But the node owners will then get the gas fee. So, and it won't be extravagant, but it'll be enough to make the nodes worth hanging on to. And hopefully by that stage, in 10 years' time, we expect to have 50 odd games. And, there'll be a lot of transactions happening every day, buying and selling NFTs and trading in and out, buying Bullcoin, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, very cool. Can you talk about the games that you have in development and kind of where they're at? And, if you guys, you're totally right. I used to actually develop games. And so I know to make a good game takes a long, long time. Yeah, I'm a Java developer kind of by default. So yeah, definitely involved in that side of things. And it's a really long process. So do you want to talk about kind of what games you're making and where they're at, and like maybe some estimated dates? And we won't hold you to them because I know how that goes, but
yeah, it's really hard to pin down dates. But Revan, which is our first game, you can actually click on the Revan there. Click on the word Revan underneath it. Go back down. Go back. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's the video. So this is the first. It's a third-person shooter MOBA. So it's a League of Legends in third person, and it's designed to be a tournament game. So it's a serious game. It's being built where next bull run, we're going to be putting up $1 million prize money. So, and I caveat that by saying we need to get the $1 million. We don't have it right now because we've spent the money we had buying games and making sure we can stay alive. But next bull run, we're putting aside, our goal is to launch a professional tournament to professional teams to actually have $1 million prize money for the winning team. And then X prizes underneath that for runner-up and third person. And we're also going to be running a buy a ticket tournament where if you're a good gamer, you can buy a $1, $5, $10 or $100 ticket, and the winner, it'll be a death match, and the winner of that and the second person and the third person will get most of the money. So if you're a gamer, like I actually know a guy in Melbourne, Australia, who I used to play Daisy with, but he used to play Siege 6, and he used to win 6 out of 10 times. And I mean properly 6 out of 10, not, I win 6 out of 10 times. He actually won 6 out of 10 plays. So he was the top guy and he was almost professional. So in his level, and so we're building that amateur level tournament. So people in the Philippines and Indonesia, if they're gamers, if they're really good, those countries will be able to compete and win money. And so it's just we're going to have an AI watching to make sure people aren't gambling their lives away. We don't want people, if they lose all the time, they're going to be stopped from buying a ticket. So that will actually be monitored. But most people should win one every now and then, and you win enough to keep playing. So it's but that's to actually reward people that are actually good at gaming. And it adds, like, if it's $1 game for us Westerners, that's just a bit of money on the table just to make it fun, So anyway, we'll see how that goes. But the lawyers have checked all that out, and it is actually okay. So that's good.
Yeah, so, always have to get the lawyers involved. So I know how that goes.
We want to stay out of court. That is absolutely for true.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's Revan. And Revan, if you click underneath that on the word Revan, that actually takes you to the Revan part of the site. So that actually goes through and explains more about, and you scroll down, I think, and that goes down. Yeah, it just explains all about what it is. But yeah, so the next game is War of Steel. So Revan's a serious tournament game, and it's built to be a professional game, and it's going to be properly balanced, and it'll be a skill-based game. And if you're not very good, like I play League of Legends pretty much every day, and I'm a bronze player, and I'm pretty much terrible, but I love it. I just love the challenge of it. I love trying to get better, and it just suits me. I only play 2 or 3 games. I don't spend hours on it, but I do it pretty much every day. War of Steel is a battle royale like Fortnite, but it's with mechs. So you jump out of a plane and glide in, and then you got to run and find a mech on the ground. And there's 3 different types. There's a tank, a rogue, DPS, and a marauder, like a mid-range sort of one. And it's basically a death match with a shrinking map that shrinks in and pushes everyone into one place. So it's designed to be the opposite of Revan. It's designed to be a beer and pizza after work fun game for you and your mates. So it's not going to have a tournament. Really, we might look at some sort of tournament stuff, but it's not really designed to do that. We don't want to spend too much time balancing it to make it like Revan's going to be balanced there'll be a meta each season, and it'll be balanced to that meta. Whereas War of Steel is much more about fun. So that's what we're trying to do, is get something that's much more about fun. And it's just for you and your mates to have a blast in. There's big explosions. There's, the mechs can be tripped up and they can get knocked over, and people can get shot by lasers. And it's just about laughing and having fun, and the sort of game you want to play when you've got home from work, and you don't feel like getting into a really serious game like Revan.
Okay. Is it all right if is this a trailer? Is that okay if I play that real quick?
Yeah, go for it. So yeah, that's
Very
it.
Cool.
So that was literally the promo trailer they actually gave to us to show us what the game was. So it's actually quite outdated. Everything looks a lot better than that right now. But it's coming along. We should be in open beta very early next year. So Revan's actually open beta 20th of December this year. And we hope to be a bit earlier than that, but we've actually allowed ourselves time for more adjustment and balance. But yeah, open beta for Revan is 20th of December, and War of Steel should be in the first quarter of next year. And then the final game we work on at the moment is Dogs of War. And this is, pardon the joke, but my pet project. I'm a survival game nut, and I've played so many hours of DayZ, I'm embarrassed to say. And I just love the genre. I love the idea that there's 3 games in one. So you've got a survival game where you're trying to survive. Then you've got a base building game where you've got to protect your gear and either raid other people's bases or get your base, defend your base. And then you've got a PvP game where you're off to a PvP type area where everyone goes to shoot each other. So it's a permadeath game, which means if you die, you lose everything. But bases actually help make that a bit more palatable because you can run back to your base and restock and re-gear. And the way we're doing it, we've got a couple of big adjustments where you can, we've got a mod called Coasted that we've built into it. And it's where if you're at the PvP area and you get killed, in traditional survival games, you go back to the coast and you've got to run all the way back. And so you're out of the whole battle forever. You can't get back. It takes you 4 hours to get back, right? So when you're trying to play a PvP match, that's really annoying because you want to get back and help your mates. Your mates are in the battle and they need you back there. So we've divided the map up into grids. And if you get killed in a PvP fight, like you're actually in a PvP area and you're fighting, you can respawn within 1 kilometer of where you died. And then you can run back, and maybe your gear will still be there because the gear takes a little bit of time before it goes away. And you can put your gear back on and keep playing. If you die again within 1 hour, you now spawn within 2 kilometers of where you died. And so it takes longer to get back, because running a kilometer in these games takes time. Like it takes about 8 minutes. So, sorry, about two or 3 minutes. So you're not straight back into the battle. Now 2 kilometers takes 6 to 8 minutes. And then a third time you actually get coasted. So the idea is to actually put, some of these battles can go on forever and ever if you have everyone just respawning all the time. You actually want to have a team that wins. So that's the idea. But yeah, and the twist to this one is obviously it's all doggos, and we've got 10 different breeds of dogs, and the basic story is typical apocalyptic after virus. Mad scientists in prison for naughtily putting dog DNA into humans. But when the virus hits and starts killing everyone, they find out that the people he tested on don't die. So they live a lot longer than what's normal. And so the rich people of the world get together and break him out of prison and give him a laboratory to make doggos, which is this new human dog hybrid. And there's Saint Bernards and Dobermans and Rottweiler. It's just going to be funny. And we've purposely going to have the ears flopping up and down while the dogs run, and it'll just be like there's going to be a bunch of fun stuff going on that just makes it more enjoyable. And this is a mixture of serious survival, the survival part will be quite hard. Like if you don't learn how to survive, you'll find it really difficult. And it'll be also like a lot of fun with your mates, good PvP, third and first person. When you actually go into battle, you go into first person. So, which stops people peeking around corners without putting their head out. I don't know if you've ever played those games where you're in third person and you can use your third person to look around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
You're not actually, that's naughty. So I don't like that. So we've actually make it that when you enter combat, so you can peek around a corner without looking if you're not in combat. But if you've started combat, you are now in combat, you go to first person. And if someone engages you into combat, you get pulled into first person. So if someone actually shoots you, but if they fire at you and miss, you're in third person, they're in first person. So you've got a slight advantage. Okay. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you want to talk about, I'm the spreadsheet guy. That's what I'm kind of known for. Do you want to talk about?
I hate your spreadsheets at the moment because we're not looking very good on your spreadsheet.
Not yet.
I feel sorry for Playa3ull looking at your spreadsheet. I'm like, oh, come on, Playa3ull.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's I consider something like, your revenue streams aren't in place yet, right? So this is something I'm looking forward to the future. I think crypto gaming is going to be one of the major bridges from normal people to the crypto world. So I want to be as supportive as I can of the gaming world and people who are on top of that. Your channel's
really about passive income and making this stuff work for you. So I understand right now, like, we were talking about this the other day, because when we talked about coming on doing this AMA, like my son Jet follows you, like he actually watches every video you do, and he's right into it. So, and I watch a portion of them because he tells me what to watch. But it's basically where we are is we're waiting for the bull token to actually get value. It needs to be used every day. And it's not going to be used every day until we get our first games going. So once our first games start being played every day, there's obviously a marketing exercise to go about getting players to play the game. And then as the game gets traction and players playing it, that's going to use bull token. And so bull token going up. So at the moment, our nodes are upside down on ROI. So I think it's about 400 days to get your money back on a node at the moment. So, which is terrible. And if I was buying a node right now, I wouldn't be buying a Playa3ull Games node for that exact reason. And when the boys bought their GALA node, it was 9 months. And so we were saying, hey, if it's under 12 months, that's a pretty good return. Like that's not bad. You're getting 6, I think there's 6,900. You're getting that back in You're getting that back in 1 year or 9 months. That's a really good return. And then GALA went, that was at 1 cent, and then GALA, so that was at 3 cents, and GALA went to 1 cent for 9 months. And every day, Sam, the older boy, came in and said, "Oh, is GALA $1 yet?" And like, it was just like, we were just like, "Oh, you're just driving us nuts." And because he was sort of blaming us that we made this terrible investment. And then GALA went to 9 cents, and then 12 cents, and then 15 cents, and then 20 cents, and then 30. And suddenly Sam was coming in, "Oh, have you seen our GALA investment?" It was really funny. But so that's what's going to happen with Playa3ull as the bull coin. And one thing we've done differently to GALA again is that all of our games are going to use bull coin. So to purchase anything in game, you'll have to buy bull coin to purchase anything in game. So there might be in-game tokens that are actually part of the game. They won't be a token you can buy. They just be, sometimes it might be you can buy gold in the game, something, just to facilitate ease of use without leaving the game. But to buy extra gold, if you're going to need extra gold or something, you have to buy that with bull token. So we've made a decision to use bull token across every game. So when we, in 10 years time, when we've got 50 games under our belt, all of those 50 games we're using bull token, which is going to put a massive amount of pressure on the price because it's, people are going to be using it. They're going to be buying NFTs with it. And there'll be things we can do. We're never going to burn bull, but we are going to be doing things like having staking stuff available and all that sort of stuff. So there's things going on there as well. But right now, the thing to do right now, if you want to get the most out of Playa3ull, is to buy bull token, because the bull coin, as it is right now, is super cheap. So, like, if you look at the basics of what's actually going on at the moment, like we're currently, I think today we're 6 times 100th of a cent. So it's not 600, is it 600th? I don't know how to say that, but it's 6 times 100. So it's almost a 10th of a cent. It's halfway to a 10th of a cent. So if you spent $10 a week right now buying bull token, so let's just say you went out and spent $10 today on Bitmart or on Trader Joe's or on LBank. We're listed on those 3 exchanges at the moment. If you've spent $10, you'd get 16,000 bull token. All right. So we've got a campaign about to start. We're just working on how to actually get this out publicly, but we're going to be targeting this across the world. We're suggesting people buy $6 of coin a day. All right. Well, let's just work on $10 at the moment because it's just easier math. But $10 at 16,000 coins a day. Sorry, not a day. Sorry, a week. So $10 a week over 52 weeks. You spent $500 buying bull token. Right, $520. And you've got 866,000 bull token at the end of the year, presuming the price doesn't skyrocket and it stays somewhere where it is, while we're in this bear dash turning into the bull upward. So that's $520 invested. And you've got, if we go to even half of what GALA achieved, they hit 89 cents, 84 cents, I think 86 cents, somewhere around there. So if we went to 50 cents, let's say, just to keep the maths really simple, in the next bull run, so let's say it takes 2 years to get to 50 cents, then you've turned that $520 into $433,000. So I call this the Bitcoin analogy. All right, if you could go back in time right now to 2010, you would have 2 options available to you with all the information you know about crypto right now. One, you could set up a laptop, a normal laptop, not a high-powered gaming laptop because they didn't even exist back then, but a normal laptop, and you could mine Bitcoin on your laptop, and you would win one of the blocks every 2 or 3 times a week on a laptop. 50 coins they were getting. So people literally on laptops got 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 coins over a couple of years. All right. Or if you were too lazy to set up a laptop and just run it in the background mining Bitcoin, you could buy Bitcoin then for 9 cents a coin. All right. So if you could go back in time and do one of those 2 things, would you? I would.
Yeah, I would as well.
In a heartbeat. You wouldn't even have to ask me twice. I get it. straight away. It's a no-brainer. Well, the trouble is that train's gone. The Bitcoin at 9 cents, I don't believe, unless it gets hacked, it'll never ever get back to, and it can't be hacked. But let's presume it got hacked. That would be the only reason it would ever go below. You know, I think we're pretty much at the bottom of Bitcoin now. Don't trust me.
Not financial advice.
Not financial advice. But yeah, so I don't think we're ever going to see anything under 10,000 on Bitcoin ever again. I think that's the end of that, and it's going to go up. So that train's gone. So the question is, what else is out there that has similar opportunities attached to it? Where right now in the bear market, it is super, super cheap, and it's got a large potential to go up. So to find those sort of things, you've got to find something like it that's already done that. So using Playa3ull Games as an example, we can look at GALA for like long high beam on our car here. We can turn on the high beam and we can look out and see GALA in front of us, and we can say, oh, where have they gone? What have they done? Why were they popular? Is Playa3ull Games close to what they've done? Yes, we're very close. We're copying the same sort of strategy. Is there room in the market, in the gaming industry? Is there room for two big players? Absolutely. There's always, so in marketing, we call it the rule of two. There's always Coke, there's always Pepsi, there's always Ford, there's always GM. There's always, Red Bull, there's always Mother. There's always, in Australia, we had Qantas and then we had Virgin in airlines. So there's always the rule of two. So there's always room for two, and there's always a third as well. There's always a smaller third sitting in the bottom. And we've always said we're happy to be GALA's Pepsi and GALA can be Coke. It's hard to catch on. GALA's got first mover advantage. They'll probably always have that. They've got over $2 billion in their kitty right now. We've got a couple of million, so we're doing okay. We're going to survive the bear market. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people have gone broke in the bear market. We're going to roll through that easily. And we're going to pop out the other side ready for the bull market with 2 games coming into play. It's pretty easy to see where we're going to go once the bull market starts. So the next thing you ask is, well, what's the company? Is the industry going up? Well, gaming's doubling every 2 years. That's worldwide. Forget crypto. And crypto's going faster than that. Crypto gaming's doing much better than doubling every 2 years. But normal gaming is doubling every 2 years around the world. So the industry's going up. We know crypto is going to go up when the bull market comes back. We know that when you're looking for a project, you need to find a really good team. Well, if you look at our team, you're going to struggle to find a better team. We've got my wife and I doing marketing. We've both got master's degrees in marketing. We've also got a full marketing team underneath us. But we've got Michael Hanlon, who's our CEO, 3 degrees in business, an MBA, an international degree in business, international business, and master's in business and an accounting degree. And then we've got lawyers, a full legal team in Perth, Australia. And then we've got, the team is just strong. And then we're buying complete gaming teams, and we're buying talent. That's what we're actually buying. What our head of games, Daniel Visser, says is you've got to look for the magic sauce. If the game doesn't have the magic sauce, don't buy it. He says it's a waste of time because magic sauce is really hard to find. He says he can't even tell me what it is. He has to play the game first, and he tells me after he's played it. And and there's games, literally the last 3 weeks, we've said no to 3 games because when Daniel played them, it's just hasn't got the magic sauce. So if the magic sauce isn't there, it's a no-go. We don't do it. So the 3 games we've got right now, they've got it. We know we're heading in the right direction. So if you put all those things together, that should show you that this project, and I'm not talking necessarily about Playa3ull Games, but if you use that criteria with any project, you're looking for good people, you're looking for industry that's going up, you're looking for can they do what they say they're going to do, and is there upside? And if the answer is yes to that, then now you're looking at a fairly good place to start thinking about. So anyway, I get a bit passionate.
No.
I get a bit passionate about it because it's
that's good. That's good. We like to see your passion.
I missed out on Bitcoin and I hated it, and I still think about it. I still think I knew about it. I actually knew about it early, like in 2010. So it's but I just didn't know anything about it. So that I forgive myself for that one. Not buying it at $2,000, I don't forgive myself for that one. I get cross with myself for not buying a lot. I've bought some now, but it's I wish I'd bought it at $2,000. Let's leave it at that.
Yes. Yeah, we all wish that
So-
for sure. So do you want to talk through, and you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but maybe a little more specificity? Is that the right word? Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
About how you're going to be using the bull token. Is it going to be, are you thinking in-game purchases, or you earn it when you play, or a combination, or what are you guys kind of thinking on that end of things?
No, you won't earn it when you play, and it won't be in game. So basically, you'll be using Bull to purchase NFTs outside a game in our marketplace, and then those NFTs will talk to the game. So you'll be able to exchange if there's a mechanic that's needed inside the game that is an earning mechanic. It'll be done with some sort of in-game token that won't be purchasable. So looking at what GALA's done, other companies besides GALA, when they make in-game tokens that you can buy outside of the game, it doesn't seem to work. And this comes back to marketing. We call it the branding problem. We don't want to do any marketing besides playable and the actual game itself. So we don't want to try and market a second coin or a third coin or a fourth coin. Or if we had 50 games and they all had their own coin, how are we marketing 50 coins? I mean, it's just craziness. It's much better to spend all of our marketing energy marketing the bull coin and saying it's got 50 uses. That's a much better marketing strategy for us to be using. That's going to give us much more bang for our marketing dollar. And so our mechanics in game will talk to the marketplace, and you'll be able to, let's say you're playing the survival game and you find a particularly good gun that's rare, you'll be able to then push a button in game that says mint, and it will talk to the marketplace. And when you get out of the game, you'll be able to mint it, and you'll be able to mint it into an NFT that you own. And so now that's playable for you inside the game. You'll be able to use that gun. And if you wanted to, you could put it on the marketplace and sell it. So that would be something you could do as well. So, and again, one of the things we want to try and do is bridge, as a game developer, you understand the term pay to win. It's like the sacrilege term in gaming. Gamers hate pay to win, but they're happy with grind to win, which I don't like. I don't like grind to win, because the people that win grind to win are the ones that don't have a life. So if you, and I talk from personal experience, there was a guy on my World of Warcraft server, and he'd been in a car accident, and I feel sorry for him for that, but he'd ended up okay. He wasn't that badly injured, but he smoked dope all day and played WoW for 18 hours a day. And the government basically paid for his whole life. The Australian government has a very good road accident policy, and if you're in a bad accident, you get big payouts. And he was just smoking dope all day and playing WoW 18 hours a day, and he was untouchable in the game. He had the best gear. He knew everything about the game. And so I call that grind to win. Doesn't matter how good I was, whenever I came near that guy, he killed me. So we want to use NFTs and stuff to just bring that back a little bit. I'm a working guy. I actually put hours in each day to my job, and I want to come home and play a game, and I want to be somewhat competitive with that guy. I don't want to be able to buy the win, but I want to be able to, if it took him 400 hours to get that particular sword, I'd like to be able to get it in, say, 200 hours and be a job keeper. Does that make sense? So we think there's a balance there that can be done. We don't want someone to walk in with $1 million and say, I'm going to buy the best of everything and I'll be the best gamer in the server. That's boring too. We don't want that. But we definitely want to, if you've got some money and you work for a living, we want to be able to speed up a little bit, like help you get some better gear when you are playing. So yeah. And that will all be done with, you'll buy those NFTs with bull token and stuff.
Okay. No, very cool. And then just some people were saying, "Oh, there's no way you'll ever hit 50 cents." But I was just looking, if Playable gets to where GALA is now at some point, that's a 47-cent token for Playable. So I mean, it could happen. And the industry is good. It's not like you're trying to catch up with GALA. The industry as a whole is going to move forward.
Mate, people don't understand. Like the person that said there's no way that it's going to get to 50 cents. Our first of all, we've only got 5 billion coins out this year. All right, we don't have 50 billion out right now, so you don't have to multiply it by 50 billion. You've only got to multiply it by 5 billion. All right, so 5 billion coins at 50 cents gives us a market cap of 2.5 billion. All right, so for an up and coming gaming producer that's going to have 50 games in its stable in 10 years time, next year that could be a reasonable expectation for our value. And I'm old enough, I'm 56 years old, and I'm old enough to remember the .com bubble. All right, I went right through it. So I've got on my Twitter profile, my old bull Twitter profile, I've got a tweet that says something along the lines of, I missed out on computers in the 80s. I missed out on the .com bubble in the 90s. I missed out on social in the noughties. I missed out on Bitcoin in the 10s. I'm not going to miss out on NFTs. All right. And so what old age teaches you is that we are in the most unique time in history. Like if you go back to our grandparents' life was almost exactly the same as their parents' life. And their parents' life was almost exactly the same as the 5 generations before them. And then that person's life was almost the same as 50 generations before that. I mean, what I have seen in my last 30 years as an adult has been, I've seen 3 technologies come through. And so we're in this unique position right now to understand what's going to happen. Now, I remember if you talked about buying Amazon stock, for the first 10 years of Amazon, people would laugh you out of the room. It's a bookstore online. It'll never work. Right? They said it, and like not just normal people, but like very experienced, like the Warren Buffetts of the world were just saying it'll never work. It's a dead stock. It's just all wrong. And so when people say, "Oh, there's no way that we could hit 50 cents," I know categorically the crypto industry is crazy, and when the bull market returns, people are going to be looking for somewhere to park some dollars. And you don't have to have a lot of people parking a little bit before things really start to rock. And when the fear of missing out steps in, I mean, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling anyone it's going to happen, but I would be very surprised if we didn't see something along the lines of what GALA's done. And I'll be very surprised if GALA doesn't hit $5. Now, is GALA worth $5? No, of course not. It never will be. When you look at its 50 billion coins out, it's not worth $5. It won't be. But while it's on the way to that 50 billion, it will hit $5 most probably. All right. So, like when you look at GALA at 5 cents, what a fantastic investment right now. Not at fine, blah, blah. So saying
you'd make a good YouTuber.
Thanks. saying not financial advice doesn't actually protect you. But yeah, it's anyway. It's just my opinion. That's all it is. So the best advice is do your own research. Have a look into it. But I do believe that these, can Playa3ull be valued at $50 billion in 10 years' time? No, I don't think so. But 25 billion? Possibly, if we had some really good games on the table. And, Amazon was, for those first 10 years, Amazon, it hadn't made a profit. Like we're making a profit. Amazon hadn't even made a profit. And it was valued at whatever it was. I can't even remember what the valuation, but they were astronomical and they hadn't even made a profit. So
yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, hey, this has been super helpful. It's been awesome just to hear your vision, your passion, and all that. So if people want to get involved, can you talk through what's the best way for people to get involved just for information? If they want to get involved as a gamer, and then if they want to get involved as an investor, can you kind of talk through the best way for those 3 things?
Yep, absolutely. As a gamer, come December, we'll have Revan out. So that will be the best way to get involved. You can join our community now. We've got gamers in our community talking. They're giving feedback on. We've got closed beta happening for our community, so people in our community can hop in and play Revan sometimes. And they give us feedback and they tell us what to change and what they don't like and what they do like, and we listen to that because one of our tenets of Playa3ull is that we want to build games that you want to play. So, like, I'm not arrogant enough to think that I know what games are going to be the best games in the world. We just start somewhere, then we ask people what they want. So, and we make the game. So we try to pick games that we think are going to be good, and then has it got the magic sauce? And after that, it comes down to what you guys want. So we're building stuff for you. And I think there's been like, World of Warcraft went through that crazy, 10-year period where they just told everyone to get stuffed. They just said, we don't care what you say. Like I spent 9 months building a druid, and in one patch, I had a paladin because two hit me. And like, it was just not fun. They wrecked the whole game and then told everyone, oh, we don't care. And so that was the first time I quit WoW. It was a bit like quitting eating. I had to go back to it. But yeah, so that's gaming. To join our community, just jump. You can follow Twitter. There's a Discord link on Twitter. It's at Playable with a B. Sorry, a 3, like my old bull name there. So the 3 is a B. So it's just PLAYA3ULL. So at Playable in Twitter will get you to our Twitter site, and then that will give you a link through Discord. Our website, playable.games, again spelled with a 3. That'll get you there. Discord has everything in it. It's our whole community. There's, I think, we're 5,000 people strong at the moment and growing. And then investors, again, Discord, there's channels in there. We've got a complete dashboard built now. I don't know if you've been and had a look at it, but we've got the whole dashboard. You can actually check where you're up to, how many coins you're making a day. It tracks all that for you, and you can claim them and bring them down to your MetaMask and whatever else you want.
Okay,
so that's us.
Yeah, so you can buy the coin. Do you do you recommend people buying the nodes right now, or do you I guess what's your thoughts on the nodes at right now?
The smart money would be to buy coin right now, because you're going to get more coins for your dollar invested than you will a node will produce you over a short period of time. That said, if you've got the money, doing both would be the preferable thing to do, because at some point, the nodes aren't going to be 4,400 anymore. They're going to just go. And we saw that with GALA. They stayed sideways for 9 months, 12 months, and then just took off. And when that happens, when the coin price reverts and we go to 1 cent, suddenly ROI is 9 cents. Sorry, 9 months. So as soon as ROI becomes 9 months, off she goes. It's off to the races. And then it ends up being a self-fulfilling prophecy. So the ROI is good. Hey, everyone's buying nodes. We're back to where we were when we started. So it's crazy. Wives crying in the kitchen. So, and I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to see that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that I
who
want.
doesn't like their wife crying in the kitchen?
They were happy sort of tears with amazement. But she was actually a little bit stressed in the sense of she didn't understand what was happening. But it is. We're looking forward to that day again when that comes back.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely the coin is would be the smart money, like you said, but not financial advice. But if you believe in what they're doing and what the future of gaming and the future of playable games in particular, buying the coin, the node might be the better, like long-term play. Like in 5 years, you might say, oh, I wish I had one of those nodes. I wish 5 years ago I had bought one of those nodes. It's just kind of hard to tell the future on things like that. Tommy would like to know, are you planning on performing buybacks or anything like that to sustain the price, or are you just providing utility for it?
No, just utility. We're not going to burn any coin, and we're not going to buy anything back. So there will be some. We're looking at some different NFTs that actually hold the coin in it. So they're like things like you can actually buy an NFT and it's going to hold a certain amount of coin. So the coin won't come back to us per se. So, but it will be locked away in it. So we're looking at that sort of stuff. There's a little bit, there's like some new people talking about that as ways to short term, like bolster price. But we know categorically that the system we're using works. It's just not working right now because there's parts missing. So we don't have a game out that's actually using coin every day. And we are where GALA was a year ago. So GALA's 18 months in front of us. And this is one of the things that everyone needs to understand is people compare us to GALA, but it's like comparing a 5-year-old to a 14-year-old and saying, why aren't you as big as him? Well, because he's 14. So GALA's 18 months ahead of us. Like, give us another 18 months and it'll be a whole different story. When we're back in the bull run and things are happening and people, and I think this next bull run, we're going to see something very special. We're going to see institutions coming. And once that starts happening, we're going to see, I think we're going to see for the first time older people that have avoided. So a lot of older people have avoided crypto, but I think we're at that point now where once the institutions start coming, once they start seeing, like the bigger institutions saying, like, we've seen this the end of last bull run, we saw, Michael Saylor come in, and we saw Kathy Wood start getting in, and we saw like these, ARK Investments and MicroStrategy, and then we saw other companies and countries actually buying Bitcoin. So the end of the last bull run is going to be where the beginning of the new one takes off. So it's sort of like just starting a video from where we left off, and we're just in this pause. We're out to lunch at the moment, basically. And unfortunately, some companies don't have the funds saved and they're going broke because they can't pay their staff and do that. Those of us that have the funds saved, we're on pause at lunch. And when I say we're at lunch, we're building furiously to make sure that we're ready. We're going to be that further along when it launches.
Okay, very cool. Well, hey, Jonathan, thank you for hopping on. I appreciate it. I love doing these updates
Thank you.
on
My pleasure.
projects. So as we close up here, audience, thank you guys for hopping on again. Could not do what we do. Yeah, both me and Playa3ull, we're reliant on you guys. Like, we can build and we can put content out and we can market and do what we do, but we need you guys. So really appreciative of you and just your support. And then, yeah, Jonathan, thanks for building and being an asset. Again, this is a space that I would really like to see move forward. And so I'm hoping Playa3ull is a big part of that as we move forward. And it's cool to have this partnership as you continue to move.
Well, one of my goals is to get up on your sheet. I want this up.
There you go. There you go. Hey, that's why
you're saying, hey, my Playa3ull node actually made some money this month.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So, well, hey, thanks, Jonathan. I appreciate it. Please reach out if there's anything I can do to help, retweets or whatever, just to get eyes on things and keep things moving. Happy to do that whenever. So just let me know what I can do to help.
Terrific. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time.
Awesome.